Good evening, guys. Welcome to BTWN VidCast. Again, we're about 3 minutes late, so I'll offer your apologies on that one. If the people who are listening podcast, if it's 3 minutes late, it's your own fault for listening 3 minutes late. It ain't my fault. Tonight's show we've got, is Jack the Ripper really gone? We're going to look into dyslexic paranormal entities who seem to have been sent straight to Hull. You'll find out shortly. Literally staying alive, and then the origins of the infamous Ghost Club. You still there?
Yes, sir. I am still here.
Good beans, man. Good beans. Right. Okay. So just to start off, before we go any further, how have you been, Kurt?
Good. Getting ready for the wedding, man. Getting ready for the wedding. Yeah, I got all my clothes. I got my everything's all done. I got to get everything when I fly down there. Everything all starched up and everything else. And I think it's gonna be. It's less than 2 weeks away, man. Less than 2 weeks away. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
No, you've got a good woman.
Yeah, she'll beat my ass if I do anything stupid. So I'll take that responsibility. You know.
See, what Kurt fails to tell anybody is he's guaranteed to get his ass beaten then, because to be fair,
I deserve it.
No. Stupid shit follows us. Stupid stuff follows us constantly, man. But
some people think they have attachments. We just have like stupidity ghosts.
Yeah.
That's all they are. They're stupidity ghosts. They love just to harass us, break things at the last minute, things like that. So Mo and I tend to have stupidity ghosts kicking our ass wherever we go.
We get followed. We get followed everywhere by our own stupidity, as opposed to entities. The only attachment I've got is the attachment of the stigma I put up on myself just for the fact that I am that stupid. And my wife just walked in with a strut. Are you okay? Yeah. Weird. Do you know when women do that walk, and I don't even know if it's it's
Dude,
the walk.
If I see a fist,
the pain walk. It's the pain. She expects it because she always picks on me. You always pick on me,
but you deserve it. You deserve to be picked on.
I accept it.
I would too. I do too. So.
Oh dear me. So yeah, you're prepping for the wedding.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the place we're getting married too, man. It's like this cool like Dungeons and Dragons park, dude. And I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get there and like everybody's dressed in goth. I will have a fit.
My money's on you getting beheaded.
There's an ogre, and the people that run the place collect like old swords.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, they collect like Civil War swords all the way back to whatever. Lynette dealt with them. I didn't deal with them.
Yeah.
So basically, she gave him one of her swords, and that's what they collect, dude. There's knights and swords and ogres and everything. What else, dude? It's gonna be videotaped.
That's just like my wedding. Full of ogres. My family. Luckily, my family will never watch this, so I'm fine to say they're ogres. My dad probably was born and raised under a bridge. So yeah, my money's on that. But
how's your week, dude? How's your week going?
Dude, my week's been surprisingly good. I've managed to sit down and clear up some stuff with regards to my team on this side of the water. We've had a bit of a conversation, and we decided we're all going to meet up and talk about what we're going to do over the winter, because it's now getting to that time where the months are getting darker. My devious side comes out, so I sit there, and as opposed to what everybody else does and goes, let's look at an event we can go to. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I've been to a few places. We've investigated quite a few places, which have been really amazing places. Why don't we look on YouTube, find somebody who's claiming somewhere's haunted, somewhere public, and then go and check it out ourselves? I mentioned it to my team, and the first thing they were like is assassination. We're going to have a go at somebody. I'm like, no, we're not having a go at nobody. I just want to look at what other places people are looking at, and go and check them out ourselves. And they're like, no.
I'll contact one of them, because I'm sure I know who it is. and I'm not going to say any names, but I'll say, dude, assassinate. I'll say, dude, please assassinate. I will help.
Oh, man.
I will help.
There's so many. This will theme into the show a little bit later on. But there's so many fantastic claims about hauntings all over the place that sometimes you look at them and you think, well, if the place is haunted and you're aware that it's haunted, and you're filming the fact that you're there and it's haunted, why not let the rest of the world know so they can go there as well and they could give it their own opinion? So in the back of my mind, that's how it's playing for me. And then you look at this it's like some individuals on Facebook who will go, I've been to the woods, and the woods are notoriously haunted, and this and that, but they never tell you where it is. But I'm a geek, and I'll find out where it is. It's easier.
Well, the thing about it is, first off, no matter where I go, is not going on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, somebody in Bigfoot82 has put something in the chat room here. I'm thinking of a solo ghost hunt at Anfield Cemetery on Halloween. Bigfoot, John, sorry, that is actually, it's a good idea going to Anfield Cemetery on Halloween, because obviously the place is creepy. There's a lot of people who are there. I know of the 2 murderers who were buried there, if I'm right in believing, and there's pretty much an entire mass burial from World War II there as well. But what I will say is, don't be taking camera equipment into Anfield at night. Mate, it's like Basra. You don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. But yeah, I'll leave that one and I'll move swiftly on from Anfield Cemetery, as it's like about a mile away from where I am now. But yeah, nevertheless, as I said, I'm decided over the winter that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to one of the old asylums that we looked at, which is in Wales. We're going to go back there, hopefully. And I've got a plan involving, I haven't even spoke to you about this yet, Kate, about something we're going to use on an investigation in possibly November or December.
Tell me afterwards. No,
I picked the idea up halfway through the show notes, so I'll get onto that very shortly with you. But I'm really looking forward to it as an idea. It's brilliant.
Is it called getting a 360 camera? Oh, no. Snap! I forgot I got one. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to rub that in your face right there, dude.
Dude, the only problem is, like, if you want to talk about rubbing in someone's face, you can have a 360 camera before me. You're welcome to it, because I'd have it working before you.
Yeah, but the thing is, but the thing is about that, you having it working before me. I know you would. Yes, I admit, ladies and gentlemen, I admit he would. He would even have it working. He would have taken it apart already, put it back together, made it like made it infrared or something like that. But he did give me the thing to use a tripod, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, probably a pretty good idea, because considering it won't. What?
No, I'm looking through my phone now, trying to find the voice recording of, "Hey Mo, me 360 camera doesn't work. I don't know how to make it work." And I'm trying to find a voice recording to just play it.
It wasn't stitching. It was like I was trying video, because the 360 Ricoh I got, the Ricoh S, it's great for, I could do cameras, snapshots, and it's really cool. But the thing is, though, it's very, very hard to do video, and it'll only do 25-minute video at most. And when you don't do it right, me, of course, as I'm always contacting Mo about, dude, how do I do this? Help me out. Help me out. So I might as well just give my computer to Mo and just have him type in directions and just do it for me. But it wasn't showing. It was showing two fish eyes, when it should have actually stitched together and worked. But it didn't. But the thing is pretty cool once I get it working. But there's some other ones out there, too, I was looking at. But the other ones only showed kind of like this round kind of look like you're looking up. You're looking down into something round. This thing's even better, man. You just play with the screen, and like you can make faces out of people, spread their faces out. I mean, it's great. It's a great piece of kit. Once I learn how to use it,
I was looking at your 360 camera. I was on a website. I was actually in work doing it. But if you work for my company, don't tell the boss. I was in work. I'm on the computer at the front, and I thought I'll just give it a 5-minute check. How would you go about it? And this guy walked past me, and he goes, I use one of them, but I use one of the GoPro versions. And I was then interested, thinking, oh, GoPro must have one out. No, the guy's got 9 GoPro Hero 4s.
You got to put them on the stand, the round stand, and it does its movement, or it does.
Oh, no. This thing's 9 GoPros all latched into each other using a special frame that you can buy or get 3D printed. It cost them $4,000 to get it all together. And you know, when you speak to somebody and you think, I like 360 video, but my dear God, that's a lot. would not put that much money
I
into.
wouldn't do that, dude. And I'm a GoPro.
Yeah.
I got a GoPro fetish, dude.
You have, yeah. I've been told.
And I would not, and I would never ever spend that much money. Yeah, I owe the government that much money, but aside from that, dude, there's not a snowball's chance in hell I would spend $4,000 on that. I got a lot of big things coming up in my life, and it's time to start saving. I mean, I really got to start saving.
Oh, do you know, I'm where GoPros are concerned, I must be one of the rarest people on the planet for it, or the rarest people in our field, because I actually don't own a GoPro. I don't use GoPros, more due to the fact that if I ever, it sounds weird, but if I ever had disposable couple hundred to spend on a GoPro, I'd possibly spend it on more night vision gear, or I'd probably spend it on audio equipment. I don't know why. I'm one of those people I've skated around it like mad. I don't know why.
Well, no, I know you have, because we joke around about it like a lot. Yeah. But my thing is, though, okay, let's say I am doing an investigation and I wear a hat, one of these connector things, so it's on my forehead, so that way I don't have to wear it down here. Or, they got holders and millions of holders.
Yeah,
it's the fact you're just going to get a different type of video than if I have, let's say, my night vision, or I have my Sony, or I have my Samsung one with that. It's just going to give you, if you wanted to put it together, it'd be like, hold on, you took that piece, you put the Sony piece, and then you're back to the GoPro piece in the same situation.
Yeah, so you're talking different types of footage. I understand that. And some Bigfoot or John's put in the chat room, can you get a GoPro with night vision? You can't buy the GoPro with night vision. You can buy a GoPro, get it modified.
They're expensive.
Yeah, but you can modify it yourself. You can just take the lens out or take the pass filter out and put it back together. If you
John, listen, send it to Mo. He'll do it. He got the bill, because you got to watch out if you're going to spend that much on a GoPro. And yeah, they are. You're talking $300-$400 or a couple £100. You better know what you're doing, because they're easy to break.
Of course, you've got to be very careful. Kate broke his.
Now I broke one of them. I did. I admit it. Damn, I'm getting abused tonight.
I'll never forget, man. He showed me a picture of lens. The lens with the crack right down the center of it. I looked and I was like, no, that's
no. But you did tell me though that since it's so close to the lens, it shouldn't be an issue. But I still had that issue of like, I can't believe I just broke it. I can't believe. But it wasn't my Silver 3 Plus. That's like my Porsche of GoPros, and the other ones are the new ones out that are about $100. You get X and you buy an extended battery to it, but you don't. I don't know, man, but I did break it. Yeah,
I think my next purchase, there's those SJ3000 or SJ4000s, whatever they are, the ones you can get on eBay. If I can,
might as well, dude.
I'll buy a few of them, because for what they are, if they take a kick, then they take a kick. I've already had one of our team members fall on one of my good cameras. I think, as far as I'm aware, there's still bits of it stuck in a field in Wales. My camera destroyed it. But nevertheless, that was it. It comes with the territory. You're going to break some of your stuff every once in a while, or leave it. Like, I left a tripod somewhere as well. And do you know what? Do you know when you have all the equipment and you leave it behind, or you forget about it, or something happens and you don't have it no more?
Oh, you go straight on Amazon, dude.
Oh, no,
that's what I do, man.
Dude, it cuts me deep, It really does. I've got a tripod upstairs that I lost the £2.99 clip which sits on the top of the tripod to lock your camera onto. Right? I lost it. I'm never letting it go. I'm not happy. I'm fucking bitter about it. It makes me bitter.
Did you get the piece though from work or somewhere?
No, I can get it on eBay. There's one on eBay, but it's not the point. It's the fact that I lost it, and it's just niggled at me and annoyed me so much, man.
Dude, you have OCD pretty bad, dude. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
You're obsessive compulsive about little things like a $2 piece that you can pick up at a local Radio Shack.
Oh man, it annoys me, man. It absolutely annoys me. Even down to, like, I had a laptop about 4 years ago that I used to use on investigation, and I lost 2 screws out the back of it. Those screws had nothing to do with how it worked, but I knew they were missing, and I spent a night on the internet trying to find a company that supplies me the 2 screws. And I'm talking 6 o'clock till 12. I was looking for these screws just because it's just, I don't know. I've got no excuse. I'm just that bad. I need to stop.
That's all right, man, dude. You're always gonna be like that. The age you are, you're always gonna be like that. Nothing wrong with it, dude.
No.
It's me. I just buy something new and then wonder why I just pissed away, $300 on something that that I'll
Yeah.
use, but I don't know if I'll ever get the $300 out of it.
I've got lenses for my Nikon camera, the one that I use for me filming. I've got lenses for that I bought because I might need them. And
You
will
might.
never need. And
I do that too.
One
I just
day.
bought a shitload of screws that go up into the brackets, where you can put your IR lights and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought 15 just because I was afraid I'd lose like 4, because the way I have it, my stuff organized, I have batteries in one thing, I have this and that, so I got to admit, it happens to me too.
Wait, Bigfoot or John's put, does this seem silly, but would you guys ever use drones for ghost hunting in certain places?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've got one. I've got a Phantom, but I wouldn't use it at night, especially in Britain. If someone sees that in Liverpool or anywhere like that, they'll try something to take it down. But I do know there's a drone out, and this, again, I'm sorry for going on a geek fest. There's a drone out at the moment called the Matrice. There's two versions of it by DJI. There's the Matrice and there's the M600, and both of them they're very, very expensive. I'm talking the $2,000 before you'd even put anything on them. Now, they're programmable, so you can tell it to watch out for obstacles, watch out for walls, floors, ceilings, doors, just watch out. And you can put a thermal camera on it and send it to do laps. And it will literally do laps. It'll follow a predefined path if you want it to. So for that idea, yes, I definitely would if I could afford it. But if I had the money to buy something like that, as weird as it sounds, if I had thousands of pounds to throw at a piece of equipment, I'd buy a camper, like an SUV. I'd buy one of them and I'd just rig it out so that I could go to places, not worry about accommodation.
Hold on. Did you just say you were going to buy a camper?
Camper, yeah.
Dude, you are such a pikey, dude. You are busted. Yeah. Pikey.
Aye.
And ladies and gentlemen, pikey would be similar to someone in the United States that lives in a trailer that probably has a bunch of dogs in America, overseas. Yeah, dude. If you ever buy if you ever buy one, dude. Yeah. Oh my God, no. Dude.
Well, John's just put in the chat room, right? He's a big fan of the VW camper. Just to give you an idea, Kurt, and this is where I say a big F you back to you.
Okay.
Volkswagen, I've got a camper out at the moment called the Volkswagen Transporter. Yeah.
Okay.
That thing's about 280 brake horsepower, rear wheel drive. And mate, it's on a sports package. It's got like low profile rims. There's a new version of it, which is like a sports car. So yeah, that's when you realize that you're king of your own little community, man. It's cool. You're Googling it, aren't you?
Oh yeah. What is it called again?
The VW Transporter.
All right. I got this VW. Hold on, I got to see this.
No, dear God. Coming from you. This is bad, this. You can't even spell transporter, can you?
Well, I couldn't say, what was the other word that I had? I was like, I started licking the screen.
What was the other word?
Well, they'll find out soon enough. Okay, VW Transporter. I'll go to image.
One of the 2016 ones is cool, man. Like 40 odd grand.
Dude, the camper, this is kind of cool, actually. I got to admit.
Well, it's good news because Lynette's just put in the chat room that she wants a hobby camper, so you're in for a surprise. Lynette, you're already marrying a camper. Well, a camp person anyway. So, accept it.
Yeah, whatever, you hobo.
Oh, dude, let's go on to the news. Come on.
Okay, yeah, we're kind of deviating. Okay, I'll read the first one, all right?
Go for it.
All right, here's the news. Gaynor is at 58, says the ghost she is named Jack, burns Bibles, attacks her as she sleeps. So far, this is making a ghost adventures. The supernatural behavior mainly occurs during September, according to Gaynor. She says she has even been punched, had fires start, shut up, Mo, around her house. One time, she was dragged by her from her bed by her ankles and pushed down the stairs by a poltergeist. Dude, this is awesome. Forcing her to call in exorcists. Oh, God. Paranormal investigators claim her house is in the top 5 most haunted in Britain, according to the terrified mom. That'd be mom over here from Braunstone in Leicester. Despite all the spooky activities, Gaynor has vowed to stay put at her home of 36 years. She says, Jack physically attacks me, and I have been left bruised in the past. Honestly, I think she has. Let me go down here more in the past. I've had no end of paranormal investigation, and then my partner has seen the apparition of a man, woman, and a little girl around the house. I'd tell him to pay rent or leave. You know, there's the possibility that we could actually be dealing with the ghost of Jack the Ripper. Oh God, this is like the roller coaster that just starts going down.
Yep.
She added, some people probably won't believe me, but I say come and try living here, and you might soon change your mind. Gaynor has lived in the property, which was built on the site of an old farmhouse since 1980, and says the man who lived there before her also experienced ghostly goings-on. So far, I just find this comedic. Okay. It has been happening for as long as I can remember. It has been a bit scary, but once you've lived with them for so long, you just get on with things. Yeah, good one. Okay, paranormal investigator Mark Vernon believes the spirit haunting Gaynor's home could actually be that of Jack the Ripper. Dude, if I could reach through the screen and grab that dude by his neck, I'd do it. Okay? The 51-year-old from Wakefield, West Yorks, where the hell is that? I have no clue. Ripper suspect Frederick Bailey Deeming was born and lived nearby to Gaynor's house. Mark said Frederick Bailey Deeming lived close to Gaynor's house and was hanged in Australia for having confessed to murdering his wife. He is still widely regarded as the main suspect in the Whitechapel murders. There was possibly that we could, I'm calling BS to it. I call BS. Maybe weird things do go on there. I mean, who knows? I don't live there, nor would I want to live there with this crazy lady. But
she's a keeper.
Yeah, she's such a winner, and the fact that she knows it's Jack the Ripper, dude. Yeah. I don't know, dude. She's
Well, it's obviously Jack the Ripper. Clearly, it's Jack the Ripper because his name's Jack.
Yeah. She named it Jack, and I still. In the hanging in Australia, there's no court. There's nothing that collaborates. There's no collaboration with.
Think about it. People or spirits will normally haunt a place where they die. Like obviously she lives on the exact opposite side of the bleeding well to where he was hung, so that might actually give them absolutely no correlation whatsoever. To be brutally honest with you, man, I just see a woman who's being haunted apparently by somebody called Jack, and then obviously it's Jack the Ripper. She's had no end of investigators in her house.
In the way I look at it, if she was bright, which I don't think she's that bulb who's like flaring up. What I'd like to say about it is the fact if she's smart, I'd be charging some of these knuckleheads to come into my place and investigate it for 150, 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Make some money out of it. Pay the mortgage off.
It's too easy. Can I just end your story for you quite easily?
Please do.
There's a quote that was on that news report, right? And it was that a cat is constantly spooked by orbs as orbs float around it, right? And the quote was, "Cat's not right." Cat's not right. Yeah. Right. Are you cool if I move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay. Right. Hull again. Right?
Where's Hull? Explain where Hull is.
Right. Okay. If Britain was a human, yeah, Hull is the backside.
It's the ass of Great Britain.
Hull is the technical butthole of Britain. It's just no two ways about it.
New Jersey's the armpit of the United States.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you were born and raised in Hull or you live in Hull. I understand if you unsubscribe and never like me again, but it is what it is. Every time I've heard anything to do with Hull, I've never heard Oh, Hull, positive. I've always said, ooh, Hull, werewolf, by the way. Right, so let's start off. Hull, okay. Werewolf.
Shitty football.
Yep. Poltergeist activity of person stuck on top of bush. Do you know the Shih Tzu on the bush from a couple of weeks ago? That was a story that came on, right? There's also that boarding house in Hull as well, right? Okay. And then a woman says that an angry entity left her with rope burns on her neck during the terrifying paranormal investigation at the old ropery building off Hessel Road. So, yeah. Teams from the Pontefract and Middlesbrough visited the haunted food processing factory in West Dock Avenue this week, and many were left terrified, and even seasoned ghost hunters were left shaken by the experience on a Sunday night. Investigators reported being physically intimidated by the forces lurking within, so obviously they were pushing them round and robbing their pocket money. Carol Fieldhouse, who lives next door, right, here's one for you, Kurt, you ready?
Go for it, bro.
Right. Carol Fieldhouse, who lives next door to the famous poltergeist-ridden home of 30 East Drive. Okay?
All right.
Right. Suffered a rope burn on her neck. So she says that her home was also subject to paranormal activity, and since she has become something of a spirit expert. She said, to be honest, I wasn't expecting much when I went along, but almost at the moment that I walked in, I was pulled, pushed, and grabbed. In one room I walked in, but stopped immediately. There was something really not nice in there. I started feeling a burning sensation, and others noticed that there was a mark on my neck. The place is horrible. It has a very angry entity in there, and I have had a connection with spirits all my life, and I'm trying to challenge them. There was a woman. There were women, children in the building, but this one was a man, and he was definitely angry. Despite the horrific experience, Miss Fieldhouse, sorry, is clamoring to come back. Yeah, good idea, woman. She said that there's some nasty stuff in there, and I've experienced plenty in my own home and at 30 East Drive. So with the John Bigfoot 82's put Hull is the home of some of the most miserable people in England. You never see them smile. John, do you know why you never see them smile? Because they were born and raised in Hull. It will all make sense in a second. We are also looking at coming back at the end of October and November and the next year too. Bob Carver's bought the building back in 1973, but the fish and chip firm only takes up one of the floors, three levels above remaining empty. Hull Saints Boxing Club has used the venue but moved out. Hull paranormal investigator Steve Neeshaw began organising tours of the building last year, and he has heard from workers about the strange noises and events taking place. We have had East Drive Paranormal from Pontefract and GSI Paranormal from Middlesbrough. I actually know GSI, they're all right. They asked me if they wanted to stay, which I did. I saw Carol go into the room and she just went red hot. The next thing we saw a rope mark on her neck. See, the thing is, right, I've seen the pictures, and you know what, guys? I'm just going to bring the picture up, right? I know I'm in the middle of the news, but I just want to do it because I can. Shut up, dog.
Oh, you're on cats? Dude, you have like a little puppy that impregnates like Winnie the Pooh doll, dude.
Yeah, no, don't. That Winnie the Pooh doll, I feel bad for it. Can you see my screen, Kurt? Is my screen
up? I can see the neck. I can see the neck. Yeah.
Can you see the neck burn there? That clear.
I think it's neck fat, dude. Too much neck fat in that area causes a little redness.
You've done it, man. You've done it. You've just dug it too deep, man. No, but all I can see, right, I don't understand. This is one of the things that annoys me, right? And when I say it annoys me, it biblically annoys me. If you look very closely at the picture, right, see that line on her neck, right? It's clearly a rope burn, according to her and her alone. I don't understand how heat and the fact that you're on an investigation depicts that becomes a rope burn. I don't get why people are like that. Just, do you know what? You've got a red mark on your neck. How did you get it? Or how did you come to the conclusion it was a rope burn? Because I'll keep going in the story, right? Right, okay. I've never seen someone physically harmed by an entity before, and it really shocked me. We also set up a line of balls on the floor, which moved by themselves while...
He said balls on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So we also set up balls on the floor, which moved by themselves while the team had a machine which could detect... Oh, no, dude. Guys, I'm sorry. I can't even keep this story going, right? Because I've just... The bullshit's just hit the fan. We also set up a line of balls on the floor which moved by themselves while the team had a machine which could detect demons and poltergeists. I haven't
I'd
seen
like
that.
to know, did they say what it was, Mo? Like,
Obviously, it goes beep. I'm a demon.
beep,
Beep
I'm a
beep.
poltergeist.
Well, it's pretty
Okay.
obvious if it's a poltergeist because the machine gets up and goes on its own.
It just gets up and walks out.
Bails on its own. It's just gone on its own. But yeah, Mr. Nishaw has described how the factory. Described the factory as one of the most haunted buildings that he has ever been in, following a special Halloween event last year, the famous case of the 30 East Drive. Right, just this 30 East Drive always seems to squeeze back into it. East Drive Paranormal team, which is a team that pretty much keep tabs on it, grew out of the home in Pontefract, which is believed to have some of the most severe poltergeist activity in the country. It is said that the house is haunted by the Black Monk of Pontefract. Residents Joe and Jean Pritchard began experiencing strange events when a poltergeist given the name Fred began throwing things around, freezing rooms down and creating water puddles and making noises. So basically their big old creepy house was getting big old and creepy and make creaky noises, and a few leaked pipes caused water puddles and freezing cold rooms. The be all and end all of it is, how the hell have you claimed that it's a rope burn on your neck? It's just a mark on your neck. No doubt it's just maybe just because it's a ropery. Clearly it's got it's a rope on your neck. What people don't realize is most of the time in roperies, ropes are about that thick. They're huge.
And that's the ones, yeah, if you're talking the ones that if you want to hang someone or you hang yourself or whatever people do,
yeah,
they're thick. I mean, they make these ropes thick. Yeah. I mean, they're made out of hemp. She's got like a tiny like kite rope like mark right there. Well, that or she's eating too much McDonald's, one of the two.
In Liverpool, we had roperies. We've got a few roads which we're actually known for being roperies. One of them is Bowl Street, which is it's an amazing road and amazing street in Liverpool. Now, the ropes that were ever created on Bowl Street, they were actual ropes that were used on ships. Roperies created ropes for ships. Some ropes on ships are about that thick. You wrap one of them around my neck, you ain't going to give me a little tiny rope burn. You're probably going to pop me head off my neck. So, yeah. But nevertheless, just in case you didn't know, the woman who's managed to publicize this story and put it into the newspapers and the tabloids, don't ask me how, but she manages to live next door to 30 East Drive, and that house also happens to be haunted. So I guess if you get an email address, she's probably going to let you have events there as well, because 28 East Drive is also equally as haunted. Bullshit. Sorry. Oh my God, Lynette's just won.
What did she say?
Well, John's put in the chat room, could be a sweat rash, and then Lynette's put, that's her jowl and not her neck. Oh, that poor woman, man. You should all pick on her. Right, Kurt, do you want me to do the third one, or do you want
to do the third one? Might as well.
Okay, right. Third piece of news. Again, guys, I just picked these out of the news.
They're done. They're done well. I mean, we go over them beforehand.
Yeah.
We say yes, we say no before. We'll see which ones are the most ones we can make fun of and poke at and stuff like that. I mean, that's how we operate. So
this one it's all about staying alive. Literally, the sole surviving brother of one of the most recognized and celebrated bands in history has a paranormal confession. Barry Gibb, who turned 70 recently, said that he was haunted by his brother's ghosts. This former Bee Gees frontman said that the visions of his deceased siblings represented another turning point in his life, and he's now confronted with probing question: is there a life after death? Gibb sat down with the Daily Mail over last weekend and was all too eager to speak about his haunting experience. When he says he saw Robin Gibb and his wife Linda saw Andy Gibb. Barry didn't go into detail about all the apparitions of his brothers, but he did say that it was not only frustrating, but it also left him confused about its relative meaning. Andy, not a member of the band, was the youngest of the Gibb brothers. He died at 30, reportedly from a drug addiction. Twins, Morris and Robin. Morris spelled like my name, but yeah. Maurice. I was named after a feckin' Bee Gee by the looks of it.
It hurts.
Twins died from surgery complications and malignancy in 2003 and 2012, respectively. The interviewer said that Barry, up to this point, had never talked about his tragic losses with so much emotion. According to the Mirror, Gibbs matriarch 95, but the Gibb matriarch 95 is still torn over the loss. Mo was gone over 2 days. Maybe that's a better than long and torches, which is what Robin went through. Andy went to 30 and all different forms of passing, and for our mum, it was devastating. Yes, it wasn't fun because we're all quite sure what it was about. The biggest question of all is there life after death? I'd like to know. After the death of his brothers, Barry withdrew from the public and had time to mourn, just as anybody else would do under the circumstances, but he protracted after the protracted time away from performing with his brothers and on stage as a solo artist, Barry began to wonder if he would ever come out of his shell. Now just started listing songs, and how he moped around over his brothers. But to be fair, at the end of it, he's trying to work out why they keep coming to him, or why he's seen and why he's had visions of them. And at the end of it,
I think a lot of times in a situation like that, it's not the fact that you're actually seeing the person; it's the want of wanting to see that person.
Oh, yeah.
For example, let's say you're my cousin and he passed. If it's my want to see you again, well, it's not you really appearing. It's just me, my want. So any little thing that occurs, validates what validates. Oh, I see a spirit of my cousin.
Of course. Well, there's a scientific term for it. It's when your body, when you say, for instance, you're lying there and you really, really miss a loved one who's passed away. There's a scientific term for how your body reacts and makes you tingle in a certain spot, like on your arm, and then you will put the pieces together and say, "Oh, it's a loved one who's as John's just put in the chat room, it could be grief. Yeah, it could be the same thing. It could be people do dream. Your dreams are there for a reason, and to be fair, I think a dream, my personal opinion, dreams are there to make sure that it's like pinching yourself. It's done to make sure you're alive. Basically, that's the way I've always seen it. But. Mm-hmm. It's to be all end all. I'd never like to lose a family member as close as a brother.
No, I
don't know.
I'm not going to take. I'm not. This is one of those ones. I hate the Bee Gees. I thought they sucked as a band. I was running around with a mohawk, following Waddy from the Exploited. I just got to say this one. I can't take the piss out of it, because it's.
Oh, I've picked the worst news, haven't I? We can't take the piss out of it, man.
I would take the piss out of him. I mean, he absolutely sucked as a musician. I mean, I'll be honest about that. But aside from that, man, it's like a wah wah wah.
Yeah.
I don't want to poke at it. I don't want to take a poke. But it's a good one to dissect if you know what I'm talking about. The other two were more or less like jack offs.
Well, anybody who wants to know what the hell I was going on about with the dyslexic ghost. That was the fact of Hull and hell. Just saying that because I genuinely think all this shit that keeps happening in Hull at the moment, I just think that ghosts are dyslexic and they can't find their way to hell, so they end up in Hull.
Or Lowestoft. That's
possibly
the other thing.
It's possibly the closest you're ever going to get to hell. Other than
Dante's Inferno, it's probably number 6. I'd say Lowestoft 6,
6
all
through 9.
7. Yeah. I mean, when you're going to, Dante's Inferno.
Yeah. You're going to pass that stage. Hull is hell, indeed. Right,
yeah.
I'm going to move on to the main part, at least, that we're going to discuss, which is the Ghost Club. A lot of people are not aware of, which is actually up to about 2 weeks ago. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Now, I was kind of naive of me because with anybody with regards to the paranormal field, you were always under the impression that you know everything. Now I don't mean to sound horrible, but we all do it. At one point we sit there and go, well, obviously it's not this, obviously it's not that. Me and Kurt, sadly, we do it quite a lot. We shouldn't really do it. We should be a little bit more open-minded, but hey ho, it's just,
where we are.
We're left to chat. It's what happens. We just digress like lunatics. But the Ghost Club, it was the oldest organisation in the world associated with psychical research, and it was founded in 1862. Now, I never knew that. But it had its roots in Cambridge University, where in 1855, people at Trinity College began to discuss ghosts and psychic phenomena, and being founded in order to expose fraudulent psychics and mediums. The group found commonality in debunking charlatans that arose through the spiritualist movement. So being secretive, the Ghost Club demanded that the attendance of meetings by its members, it demanded that the attendance of meetings were by its members and members only. The membership in the Ghost Club was considered to be eternal, so it was even after death you were part of the group. So hence their motto, which is Nasci labore mori Nasci, which means we'll be born, work, die, be born. So basically you don't leave, apparently. But you know what? That actually makes a little bit of sense to me because
Dickens was part of it though too, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was Dickens. So past members were Dickens, Siegfried Sassoon, Harry Price, Donald Campbell, Peter Cushing, Peter Underwood, Morris Gross, Sir Shane Leslie, and Eric Maple.
Morris Gross is huge, dude. That's huge.
He's Enfield Poltergeist style huge. He was called for that, but he was part of 2 groups though, because there was another one. He was a member of the British Society for Psychical Research.
Didn't that come later though? Yeah, that was more of a 70s, 80s kind of 60s.
Well, the one thing with the Ghost Club, which I realized about 3 hours ago, to be fair, is not only were you a member of the Ghost Club themselves, you didn't have no qualms with you being a member of something else. They didn't have any qualms about you going and pursuing what you wanted to pursue whilst you were part of the Ghost Club, which is kind of cool. It's not like every other secret society where if you were a Mason, you're not something else, because they wouldn't be very happy about that. You see, they didn't care. They just wanted everybody to have a common ground, and this is what the Ghost Club was. But I'm just going to keep going if it's okay, Kate.
Yeah, roll on, dude.
Like today, the Ghost Club is a non-profit social club run by an elected council of volunteers, and its purpose remains true to its roots as the Ghost Club offers open-minded, curious individuals the opportunity to debate, explore, and investigate unexplained phenomena with like-minded people and record the results for posterity. Can't get my words out, man. And as for investigations, because it's a voluntary non-profit organisation, the club doesn't have a premises or any paid staff, so the investigations and other events are organised by members of a council in their free time. So they work with historic houses, heritage sites, unusual locations that host overnight investigations into the paranormal activity throughout the year. They aim to conduct serious research. They observe and record phenomena, as I said before, for posterity. Where
are they located at as of right now? Oxford?
As of right now, I'm not sure. I don't think it works the same way anymore. There's a reason for that, which I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
What it is their investigations, they're not for entertainment in any way, shape, or form. They're not for thrill seekers. The attendees of investigations are expected to abide by any of the rules on the night. So they come up with specific rules. You abide by them. If you don't, you go. Simple as. Showing due respect to the site and the fellow members, which is again something we were talking about last week in the Brick and Ladder episode, that you need to treat the place with respect. And a lot of people throw cables downstairs, throw cables over banisters, tape on the floor. And this is something that used to annoy me with Ghost Adventures. Is I like Aaron Goodwin in Ghost Adventures. I think out of all that team, he's the one dude I want to sit down in a pub and have a drink with in a chat. I just like him as a person. He's just a good guy. But one of the things he used to do was take duct tape and tape it on the floor to show you where his X-cam was going to go. And some of the floors he was putting duct tape on are 200 years old and varnished.
Oh, they'll pull off, bro. I'll tell you that from working in a museum, that you will ruin a flooring that's over 200 years old in a heartbeat by putting down duct tape. That's a big no. That's a big no.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratch why people do things like that, but nevertheless, treating the place with a bit of respect is what these guys also put it this way. If you ever wanted to know the best way to do something, you always ask an older, experienced engineer than you would asking the new guy who's just left an apprenticeship. Reason being, the older engineer or the older person would have more experience. So these guys and the way that these run it should be, in my eyes, a blueprint for the way it should be run. Now, just to keep on going on this one, it says details of the investigations are sent via email and are open to all members. And if an investigation becomes oversubscribed, names are drawn on a lottery basis to give everyone a fair chance, and they hold about 10 investigations a year. Right? So,
dude, Mo, honestly, dude, you should think about this one, man. It is in your neck of the woods. Dude, this might actually be something that gets up your alley, man. I'll be honest with you, dude. If I could figure it out how to do it, I would.
Well, this is where it might actually kick in for you as well. The Ghost Club is said to have gone inactive, but it was restored in 1882 on All Souls Day. So the holiday was officially designated for the celebration by that group the same year. They did so by reciting all the members of the Ghost Club alive and dead, and the Ghost Club became very active as a private club of 82 men. And during this time and up till 1936, the Ghost Club was made up of prominent researchers.
Yeah, women weren't allowed though for a while. It was an all male thing.
Yeah, well, somebody helped out with that, which is kind of cool. So up till 1936, the Ghost Club was made up, as I said, by researchers in paranormal such as Harry Price, Arthur Conan Doyle, William Butler Yeats, William Crookes, Sir Oliver Lodge, Sir William Barrett, Nandor Fodor, amongst others. But in 1938, the Ghost Club disbanded but was reopened the same year by Harry Price, who changed the organisation to also allow women, which is kind of good of him. And he also extended the membership to 500 people. And Price saw for the group to be made up of highly skeptical people who simply had an interest in discussing the paranormal. So it's like in 1936, Harry Price himself, he grabbed it, seeing what it was and seeing how stern and how, I can imagine it to have sounded a lot more regimental, of men sitting around, smoking jackets in the chairs, discussing what was going on. But obviously, put a lot of men in a room, especially a lot of men who, part of a society, you're going to get a lot of serious talk, and it's just, I can imagine it not to have ended really well all the time. I can imagine a lot of gripes and grumps.
There's a lot of arrogance that goes on with a lot of those names, because they're all trying to, capture that golden chalice, or to really super debunk it, and like Harry Price and a couple others. I mean, you're right. I could see them in their dinner jackets or whatever, smoking a stogie or a pipe, and sit there and arguing it out.
Nobody would agree. I can imagine it to be like the Facebook of the 30s. Everyone's sitting there, nobody agreeing with each other. People tapping each other and saying, listen to what he's saying. He's off again. Half are skeptics, half are believers. Putting them all in the same room. I've been in a room, skeptic and believer, and I've sat back and watched it go off like it was cage fighting, just with verbal. And you're like, there's no end. Nobody's going to win.
I'm a firm believer that in a group you need a skeptic. You definitely need, not always like a hardcore skeptic. I mean, you could, but it's always good because it balances things out from the orb person right here to a hardcore skeptic here. It adds a little balance and let everybody else in between do their thing. While these two on the outside fight it out. That's the way I look at it.
I'll use this as an analogy, right? And this is why I agree with Kurt. If you had 5 people trying to work out who was the best football team in the world and all of them supported Liverpool, you've answered your own question. But if you had 5 people in a room and they're trying to work out who the best football team in the world, and 2 of them support a Spanish team, 2 of them support a British team, and 1 of them just supports England or support somebody random, they could sit there, gripe in between each other and come out with a common consensus, because there's no bias, there's no central bias, which I can imagine, if you didn't have a skeptic on board, there'd be no bias, so everybody will be a believer. So all you get is a group of people who would do nothing but argue belief, as opposed to trying to meet in the middle, which a lot of people, as I said, a lot of people at the moment on Facebook, they just want to argue. It's like a place for people to go and argue. So I can imagine, as I said, that room where all those men were sitting was exactly the same. But, sorry.
You'll never win.
No.
I mean, if you're going to argue it, Facebook is like the absolute, anything that's caught. Let's say I catch something, all right? Lynette's going to be here, and she'll get it, she'll look at it, and it goes straight to you. It does not go on Facebook. It goes no place like that. Facebook is just it's an ugly place, dude. I mean, it's just an ugly place. And I've been in the middle of some of the ugliness and starting some of the ugliness. But, but it's not a place to post this. What do you think this is? It's the best one I saw was the other day. All right. Somebody took a picture of a bed, and there's a big circle, and it says, "What do you think this is?" And people are typing in this, and then somebody who did it took the picture and types in, "It's a hula hoop, you dumbass." So everybody was looking in at it, but it was a hula hoop, dude. It was hilarious.
Love it.
That was great stuff, man.
Well, just to stay on topic, right? After Harry Price's death in 1948, the Ghost Club fell apart once again, and it would not be until 1954, through the efforts of Peter Underwood, that the Ghost Club would be resurrected. And today, like yesteryear, its members primarily hail from England, but it does include members from around the world. Its group prides itself in allowing various beliefs within its members, and members pursue their own investigation, as the Ghost Club does not undertake investigations on its own. It's simply now a unique group that have assembled for discussion of ideas and theories. Now, in 1990s, the prominent ghost investigator Peter Underwood departed the Ghost Club and formed his own Ghost Club Society. But being unhappy because he was unhappy with the way it was going about its direction. So the Ghost Club Society was founded upon the original Ghost Society in Cambridge. It was founded upon the original concept.
Who did Houdini run around with?
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah, and those guys would go and just bust up seances.
Oh God, I've actually got a bit about that in a second, which is
okay.
I'm fascinated by Houdini and what happened, but we'll get into that in a second. So anyway, the Ghost Club Society goes back to introduced by gaining members through invitation only. So basically what happened is in the 90s, it's split. So they got the Ghost Club and you got the Ghost Club Society, and they both sort of split apart. So Peter Underwood decided, listen, this should be the way it used to be. So his belief and his theory was that it should be run the very first way, where it was an invitation only. It was a small group of people as opposed to a huge group of people. So, as I said, he gains members through invitation only, different from the Ghost Club. The Ghost Club Society members investigate prominent haunted locations together. And as of this writing, the Ghost Club Society is either defunct or it's very covert in its operation. So they've kept themselves quiet. So that doesn't surprise me, to be fair. If you're going to put that much effort into a club and you're going to make it invitation only, you may want it to be secretive. And if you want a secret society about it, good luck, Godspeed, and go with it. But one of the club's most famous investigations, this is the Ghost Club, not the one that it splits off with Peter. But one of the famous investigations involved the Davenport Spirit Cabinet. Ira and William Davenport were the New York-born performers in the late 1800s who blended illusion and what they claimed to be genuine occult phenomena in an act and attributed their actions to guiding spirits, lending an air of the paranormal to even admitted delusions. One of the most famous delusions involved the brothers being bound and shut in a cabinet with a variety of musical instruments, and the instruments would play, but when the memory released, they would be found to be in their original bound positions. The Davenport brothers were interesting in their claims that were met with skepticism both by dedicated debunkers and by a group with strong ties to the spiritualism movement. So, like the Ghost Club, although the Ghost Club never published its results of the investigation, its position going in was that the brothers' claims were fraudulent. So later, both P.T. Barnum and Harry Houdini published accounts of the Davenport brothers' acts, strongly arguing that the brothers were frauds. For their part, Ira and William adopted the rather ingenious way of dodging this issue. Rather than responding to the claims directly, they employed a spiritualist minister named J.B. Ferguson to introduce their act and make all their occult claims for them. Which is kind of smart. You get somebody in from religious background and it might actually help them out. And it was with this attitude that likely alienated them from believers and skeptics alike that Houdini went as far as to publish a detailed explanation of how the brothers released and rebound themselves inside the box in his book, A Magician Among Spirits. Guy was a legend, Houdini.
Houdini was, man. He really was, dude.
It was fascinating. But one of the club's most credited members was Arthur Conan Doyle, who developed a deep abiding belief in the supernatural after the deaths of his wife and his son. Doyle eventually fell out with his friend Houdini, who became convinced that when he became convinced that Houdini had ESP. So I never knew that.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, it was kind of fascinating to find out, to be fair. And that Houdini was simply suppressing his own powers. Now, Doyle's apparent need to believe in the afterlife led to us being drawn into a number of proven hoaxes, like the fairy photos, the Cottingley.
Photos. In England, yeah.
And he got dragged into the medium. Mina Crandon, she was also discredited. And as even today, some of the members keep a low profile, so the club retains itself a comparatively low profile. They don't really broadcast much. They have a website. There's not much on there. I assume it's just a hub for all the members to talk on. So it's quite not a secretive society, but I think they just, they like to skip to their own beat, so good play on it. But the most haunted host and friend of us actually is Dr. Kieran O'Keefe. He serves as an advisor to the club, but he doesn't appear to be a member. And from all my asking, he won't answer. He's scared to. But although it remains primarily focused on ghosts, it expanded its focus in the 1990s to include UFOs and cryptozoology. And around the same time, the club abolished its members-only policy for club meetings. And since then, the Ghost Club has published several anthologies of ghost stories shared by its members. but it remains a non-profit organisation staffed by volunteers, and indeed many paranormal enthusiasts are unaware of the Ghost Club's existence and history. I was surprised that it existed, and I'm also surprised that the members, I think they've got 13 books out, and a lot of these books I've looked and I've seen on shops. I'd never have thought.
You could go to like a used bookstore and probably pick up a few of them there. Actually.
Well, there's about 3 or 4 of the books. I'll get the list and I'll put the list into the show notes on this. So if you listen to it on podcast, it'll be in the show notes there for you. And I'll also, on the list on the video, I'll put it on there as well. I was really, really surprised at some of the books. And I was thinking, I never knew you were a member of the Ghost Club. But to be fair, I don't know if it's, maybe they never thought it was a hugely important thing, or maybe it's just something they don't talk about, which is another fascinating thing.
Well, it's not now. Here, the way I look at it now, there's so many people out there and so many teams that are out there doing their thing that the Ghost Club kind of the strength of it probably dissipated, I think, because of all the amount of everybody else running around with their I'm not going to say this, their jackets with the Ghostbusters thing, no ghost. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but
no, think of it in another way, though, right? Have they disappeared?
Probably not. They just don't advertise. They just don't go out and advertise on TV. Like for today, for example, I was flicking through the channels before I had to go to work, and Most Haunted was on demand on my cable. And I started watching it.
Sorry about that, by the way.
No, dude, it got so bad. 20 minutes in, I turned it off. I watched something else. I was just watching some documentary on World War II or something. But it was well, I was watching something about the SAS, and I was like, man. I don't know, man. I just think basically they see they're probably a smart bunch of guys and ladies. Well, and they see what's out there with all the BS. They don't want to get caught up with the BS. And this is just my take on it. They don't want to get caught up in the BS that goes on. They don't want to get caught up in the Facebook wars. They don't want to get caught up in certain areas, because why would you want to do that? Why would you want your life to be spent arguing that one picture, that you took that is to me is a bug, but to everybody else it's a fairy, because it's self-illuminating somehow without you know what I'm talking about, man.
Of course, but just think of it this way, right? Would you, if you were a member of a group that's been going on since the 1850s, right? So okay, bear in mind this group is the oldest group known or official that has investigated and researched the paranormal, right? So they've been going on for 165 years.
That's a long time.
160 years of members, right? Bear in mind, if their average member count when it started was 50, over 50 years, and most of them are distinguished men. I've seen a picture, some of the men in the 60s and 70s. Let's just say, for instance, 300 members, okay? So 300 members, I'll call these the grandfathers of paranormal, right? So they are the ones they have the blank book. They're putting in the blank book what they're coming across, the investigations they're looking at. And then it keeps going further and further and further. So next minute you've got hundreds, if not, I'd say 1,000 members it might have got to at one point. And then they've got all the writings of all the Victorian members and everybody. It's going to have carried across, right? Why would you ever, if you were in that group, post a picture for peer review? From no offense, guys, to everybody who's listening right now, to us snot-nosed little kids who've probably been in the paranormal for 5, maybe 10 years. Why would you waste your time asking us our opinion when you could look across the amount of data that those guys must have just sitting there? Why would you even bother putting it forward? So, in my opinion, have they disbanded? No, I don't think they have. In my personal opinion, I just believe that why should they put themselves in the public? Why do they need the public to know what they're up to? They've been at it for long enough to say that. They probably know media's not going to help them. No one's going to help them.
Well, think about this. Compare them to the Warrens. Compare them to John Zaffis.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, I don't know where I'd go because, again, you're at an extreme end, both sides. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know where, I would whose information would I, or who would I go to if I was having an issue with this? Would I go to Zaffis? Would I go to Lorraine Warren? I'm sorry. Would I go to, you know, I mean, because they're not this society, they're not television whores.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because we don't know if they ever were. They don't know if, I mean, as I said, Kieran O'Keefe won't come forward and say that he's a member, but in saying that, look at the way he is. Yes, he's on TV. I'll give him that. Yes, he does go to conferences. I'll give him that. But does he wax his chest? Does he cover himself in tattoos? And does he run around the building screaming? No. Whenever you see Kieran O'Keefe, which I've got a lot of respect for that man, whenever you see him on the television or whenever you see him anything, he's always at the back, out the way. He's never in front of the camera. If he has to be in front of the camera, he's uncomfortable. And as we found out when we interviewed him the first time.
Yeah, we had a great interview with him.
He laughs and jokes afterwards and tries to break the monotony of standing in front of a camera by making up stories about animals. He tells people that certain animals
duck sounds or something.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, that noise is reminiscent to the fairly lady duck or something like that." And somebody would go, "What does that sound like?" And he'd make a random noise and try and keep it serious, and then it just turned into this joke. And that's what they used to do on Most Haunted. Now, if in my eyes, if he's deliberately, he's in the limelight, but he's deliberately stepped back from it.
Well, he's also, at the time, he does have his doctorate, a real doctorate. It's not something that he got off online. He is a real psychologist. He also teaches forensic psychology. The guy is legit. I mean, he just calls himself a parapsychologist just because I think he's got the background to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
You see, the one thing that I'll say with regard to them, and just to close up on the fact that we're talking about the Ghost Club, is they've been going on far longer than most of us have been breathing. They've been as a society, they've been lasting longer than 4 generations of most of our families. That's your great-grandparents. They've been around longer than your great-grandparents have walked this earth, right? Well, most people's great-grandparents. Yep. So would I trust in what they've got to say? Yes, dramatically I would. If they have, for the past 150 years, had 10 investigations a year, then I'm sorry, that's what. Like they do. So Bigfoot UK, I actually saw him on a plane once. I did not approach him though. If you're talking about Kieran O'Keefe, if you'd approached him, he's a really nice guy. You probably would have just chatted away with you. Yeah,
he's genuine. He's real genuine, the guy.
If you're talking about John Zaffis, he probably wouldn't have kissed the ring and walked away.
Yeah. touch the finger that fondled the doll.
Just kiss the ring and then meet my entourage and then walked away. No, as I said, it depends. You can normally tell any investigator by how they depict themselves to you, to the public, or to whoever's in front of them. And I've came across the same as Kurt. Sorry about my camera rattling, by the way, guys. It's on top of my laptop this time. But I've came across investigators the same as Kurt, who they might as well have desperately clambered onto the cables of cameras to get themselves in front of it. And it's pathetic. If you want to be on television for something to do with the paranormal, realize, guys, that it's going to be a flash in the pan. There's no two ways about it.
We've talked to a number of people that are on big shows.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, we get the real what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And what you're getting is absolutely cut up pieces of pieces of shot, and that's about it. Because there's a few ones that told us some really good stuff.
Yeah,
but we can't say it on air, of course.
I'll tell you one thing, because I know we're coming really, really close to the end of the show, so we're getting ready to close up now. But I'll tell you one thing which was told to us by, and I'm going to say it, by an individual. Okay, an individual. I'm not going to tell you who it is because they're still active on the television. Right, and they said to us before the show once that they were asked to go back and refilm something. They were asked to go back and refilm it because it wasn't dramatic enough.
Yep,
that actually happened. They were asked.
I remember that. Now I remember that. I remember the scene and everything because I remember that.
Yeah, and I've seen it since then, and I've been like, oh my god.
But you could tell why they want to.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
But no, it was pathetic. But so, guys, right, I'm going to tell you, with regard to the Ghost Club, my opinion is it's still alive. My opinion is that they deliberately don't want to be noticed. Why would that be? Because guess what? If they're going to be doing it, they're doing it serious. They're not doing it like I don't mean this to sound horrible, but like me, like people out there where we just go and jump on Facebook and we try and post our pictures. I never post pictures on Facebook, but just as an idea, people do it. So I'd be surprised if that's the reason. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the reason why. Is so they can keep themselves out the limelight, because the last thing you want is somebody in front of you while you're working.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there's a society out there, even if it is a little secret society. I love the fact that it exists.
It's like the Masons of paranormal, you know.
I can imagine them to have a little handshake. I can imagine it now. It would be brilliant. And before I go, I did say that I was going to try something. I said to you, Kate, I was going to tell you about something I want to try in an investigation.
Oh yeah.
Most of these guys, a lot of people don't realize these were investigating properties in 1850s, if they were actively investigating back then, which is pretty hard to find out. They didn't have torches, so they were walking around properties with candles and candlelight. We're going to a big building in November, me and my team, and this is one of the things I've talked about tonight, and we're definitely going to do it. We're going to try and do an investigation without torches and just using candlelight. I just want to see what a big-ass building's going to look like at 2 o'clock.
It's just going to be, all you're going to get is shadow play the whole time. You're just going to be like, look, I caught a shadow. Look, shadow person, because, you know, the flickering of the wick. It's
of course.
I like it though. I like it though.
I just want to know what it would be like to be in that situation. So that I said, right,
that's
guys,
cool.
I said to them, there's not a single torch going with us. Mobile phones get locked in the car. There'll be one phone on the property, and that phone's going to be in a part of the building where we're not going to be. So if we need to get to it, we can get to it if someone gets hurt. But all we're going to have is candles, and I'm going to get the coachlight candles as well. You know, the ones that you carry inside the.
Get the old-fashioned ones. Yeah.
And Lynette's just put in the chat room 2 things. One, she wants the machete. Well, hey, she wants a machine that'll tell you if it's a demon or a poltergeist. I want one. As a matter of fact, I might make one in a minute. I've got some cardboard over there. Why not? And Mo will fall into a grave. I guarantee I'll fall into a grave and probably set myself on fire in the process. But nevertheless, how creepy would it be walking around the big, and I'm talking this building is 1700s, and I'm going to walk around all night with nothing but this candle, well, in a coach light. And just
Mo, okay, before you do that, do me a favor.
A lunatic.
Wear a pair of steel.
The £2 each in IKEA. IKEA. Scandinavian for that's where you buy your paranormal shit. I love it.
Yeah, but it takes you 2 years to put it together. That's the only thing. Is it doesn't come with directions, dude. It sucks. Dude, wear steel toe, dude. Do me a favor. Yeah. Wear steel toe boots when you go on this. Get your dad's docs. You know, don't wear white laces. Whatever you do, don't wear white laces.
I'll just throw my Timberlands on. They're like
throw your Timbs on, yeah. Because dude, the way you fall, dude. Or so you slip and you flip, you know, you fall with that.
Guys,
oh man.
Then
I'd have to make fun of you for the whole show, and I can't do that. I don't have the heart, you know. I just take care of yourself when you guys are doing that. Dude,
I don't need to fall when I've got a team that sets off alarms in properties all the time. And for people, and for anybody in the chat room now, if you email me on hiddenliverpool@gmail.com, I'll send you the link so I can show you what I mean. There's actually an outtakes video that we've done in this property.
Hold on, where is it? Did you do outtakes for us or no, not yet?
No, not for us. This is outtakes for our team. This was done last year. This is when Aaron and everybody walked into a convent, and next minute they set the alarm off, and dude, they run like the police are after them. It's hilarious. The camera's like that. All you can see is that they're just running in the camera.
Send it to me on WhatsApp.
I'll link it to
me on WhatsApp.
Definitely. And for anybody in the chat room, if you want to see it, all you need to do is email me at hiddenliverpool@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link to it. But nevertheless, guys, we're gone for the night, and for next week, just so you're all aware, there's a National Ghost Hunting Day happening in October, and we've got one of the members on that coming to talk. They're coming on to talk about it and to tell us all about it. So, guys, see you next Sunday. Come on then, and we'll chat about it.
Peace. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching and here, putting up with us. We really appreciate it. Good night,
guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye now.